Congressman Edwards, at a time where elected officials across this country are not coming to hear from their constituents, thank you for joining us in Buncombe County this evening. The floor is yours.
We've got a lot to be proud of in this country. I happen to agree with a lot of the things that's going on in Washington, D.C. right now. I know many of you are not. And we'll get a chance to talk about those. So I'm gonna ask you to applaud where you want to applaud, boo where you want to boo, but let's keep it short so that we can be respectful of those folks that want to make comments and that want to hear my answers. Yeah. One of the things that I'm particularly proud of is President Trump on his first trip out of Washington D.C. The first time he left Washington, D.C. was coming right here to Western North Carolina to keep his promise that he made here in Western North Carolina to not allow us to be forgotten. I'm really pleased he invited me to fly with him on Air Force One, and on that flight, he was on that flight. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for the disruptions here. And so right there on the Air Force One at that time, President Trump was asking me, how's the recovery going in Western North Carolina? And I was very honest with him. I was talking about the things that FEMA did well. I told him about the things that FEMA did not do so well. We put together a special number because I had an impossible time getting information from FEMA on the folks that needed the help, that were caught up in the bureaucracy. And so I put together, or I bought a phone line, 223 Fix FEMA, and we've publicized what very much. So anybody that still needs help, encourage them to call my office at 223 Fix FEMA. We've removed nearly 5 million cubic yards of debris from public right-of-ways. 3.6 million by state contractors and 1.3 million by federal contractors. We're going to get to that. Yeah. The American people sent President Trump back to the White House and Republican majorities in the House and Senate with a clear mandate to restore America's economic dominance, get government out of their way to the greatest extent possible, and to secure our border. Yeah. In my view, our nation's debt crisis has been largely ignored far too long. And the time is now to fix how Washington works. To that end, I was proud to vote recently for the House budget resolution, which provides the framework And you wonder why folks don't want to do these town halls. That framework provides for Congress to secure the border, to promote American energy independence, to lower taxes, and to make America more competitive. There's also much that the President can do under his Article II authorities provided by the Constitution to rein in the size of government, the scale of government, which over the decades has become unwieldy and largely accountable on a massive scale. And so, Yep.
Do your job.
Yep.
Do your job that you were sent there to do.
Yep.
You represent us all.
Thank you.
You got nothing to say.
Thank you for that feedback.
You're lying. I'm a veteran. You
To-
don't give a fuck about me.
To be clear, Sheriff,
You don't get to take away our rights. You don't get to take our rights to get off this. You don't get to do this to us. Fuck you.
so to be clear, I deeply value the contributions that federal employees make every day to keep America running and to deliver important services. For example, folks at the National Weather Service office put out critical and timely warnings ahead of Helene's destruction in western North Carolina, saving potentially thousands of lives in the process. However, it is unavoidable reality that all departments and agencies under the federal government need to run more efficiently. And I support current efforts to identify those opportunities for making the taxpayers' dollars go farther.
And what do you plan to do to make sure North Carolina does not get taken over by dictatorship and fascism?
Sounds like there's a little bit of bias in that question, but to be quite honest with you, we have a constitution. I work to uphold that constitution. I'm assuming that many of you might have some disagreement with what you see taking place in the White House right now. But I think we also have to realize that what we see President Trump doing is exactly what President Trump said he was going to do if he was elected. And President Trump was elected by the lion's share of the American people, and so my goal is in everything I do to support the agenda that the American people sent me and President Trump and others to Washington, D.C. today. President Trump has made it clear, and all right, so now you want to hear a question about me. I'm not going to vote to dissolve your Social Security. I'm not looking to disrupt Social Security at all. That's a promise that's been made to the American people. Those folks who have worked all their life and paid into that certainly deserve to reap the rewards from the promise that they were made.
how do you justify cuts to staff of the VA helping veterans, especially those with long-term care needs?
So first of all, there have been no cuts to the staff at VA as of this point. The information that you have received is that there was a leaked memo where there were some folks looking at the efficiency of the VA. It is not President Trump, nor Congress, nor even Elon Musk's intent to eliminate any job that directly provides service to our veterans. So, yeah. What I'd like to share with you is exactly what's taking place with DOGE right now. Our government efficiency is being looked at in a way like never before. We cannot. We simply cannot. Yeah. So, by the Department of Government Efficiency, by DOGE performing the test that it is, we've been uncovering some things that I'd like to read off to you just as example. We found a VA contract where $56,000 was being paid to water 8 plants for 5 years. We found a $3 million contract for organizational culture training to instruct VA leadership on what culture and values that they should have, which now has been canceled. We found a $532,000 grant that was awarded by NIH to use a mouse model to investigate the effects of cross-sex testosterone treatment. We found a $3.5 million consulting contract for larval fish monitoring at the Bureau of Reclamation, which already had been identified as non-essential. We found a $1.7 million grant awarded by NIH for the China Health and Retirement Longitudinal Study at Peking University in Beijing, China. We found $327,000 in grants at USDA for increasing DEI programming. We found a $10 million grant in a small country in Africa for voluntary medical male circumcision. We found a $47 million grant for improving learning outcomes in Asia. We found 300. Yeah. We found $300 million in federal loans that were made We found $300 million in federal loans that were made to people 115 years old and older. And yes, our country is now in more debt than we have ever been before. $36 trillion. And yeah.
Why are we going to give tax cuts to millionaires and billionaires?
So I'm gonna answer.
$6 trillion
Yeah.
tax cuts.
I'm going to answer these questions one at a time. And seriously, to be respectful to the folks that took time and stood in line here, would you allow me to answer the questions? And if you don't like the answer, that's okay. You can just wave and say, I don't believe that. But I think we owe it to the people that came and stood in line, that took time to be here, that wanted me to answer questions, for me to answer these questions. So, what was that question? I've lost track. What was that question?
That question was,
Still on
are you
DOGE,
willing to
right?
fire 25% of your staff like
Oh,
he's
yeah.
doing to others?
Yeah. Well, I'll answer that directly. I've got a staff of about 15 that are working their butts off on your behalf every single day. So, no, I don't intend for them to go anywhere. And without them, we would not have been able to address the recovery of Hurricane Helene like we have. Let's take another question.
Let's go to our next question from Diane, zip code 28787. Why are you supporting the destruction of all of our North Carolina agencies? NOAA, Social Security, FEMA, VA, etc.
Yeah. I think we have to look for efficiency in every single government agency that's out there. There are about 2 million federal employees that you are paying for every single year. There are government has bloated exponentially since the pandemic. I believe that we owe it to the taxpayers to go and look for efficiencies that are out there.
Our last question here, Amelia from zip code 28805. What are you doing for your constituents regarding Musk and his minions having writing privileges with the Treasury Department's database?
Yeah, well, thank you. So can I answer this one also before you start yelling at me? Let's be honest with one another. If the name of the person that was running that agency was anything more than Elon Musk, you probably wouldn't be as angered about it. Because reality is, even before President Trump was elected, there were people working inside these agencies that had access, that were required access to the information. You should also know that those employees and folks that serve with DOGE have gone through the same exact security screens as everyone else. So, yeah. Somebody's going to be in charge of looking at those. His guy's name just happens to be Elon Musk right now. So, are we through taking questions?
We're through with these questions. We're now ready for the open mic portion, and this is regarding the annexation of Canada and Greenland.
Do you support the annexation of Canada and/or Greenland? And this is a yes or no question. I don't want you to wander off into the woods. I don't want to hear about your latest week in your office. Okay, so I'm trying to get your opinion on this. as a yes or no. Do you support Trump on annexing Canada or Greenland? And do you like the way he treats the Premier or the President of Canada, calling him governor? Is that the way you do as a diplomat? Is that the way the United States should act to our closest neighbors? You know, is this, and I've still got a little more time. Do you enjoy the way he's tried to extort minerals from the Ukraine? Do you like bullying people that need your help? Do you go for kicking the guy when he's down? Do you support Trump in these things? This is a yes or no.
The no's in there. Let me answer the first one, and then there was one that really stuck out that I'd like to also answer. I believe your first question that you wanted yes or no is, do I support annexing Greenland and Canada? The short answer to that is no, I do not. There was another question in there. I think it was, do I support a deal, I'm going to paraphrase it a little bit, a deal with Ukraine in obtaining minerals and helping the United States taxpayer recoup the $140 billion or so that we sent over there? The answer is yes, I do support that. Hey, this has been fun. I appreciate the opportunity to spend the last 89 minutes with you. I really appreciate the energy that you brought, the contradiction of opinions from time to time, the passion that I hear, the patriotism that I sense in this room, and I hope that you will certainly stay engaged with my office and all of those folks that are elected to represent you. Good night. God bless you all.